afei yen hwe ayedwumadi an nempese ana subject ana topic an me pese me ne mo ene yetiefo nyina so no yedwendwene ho na yehwe se ho nsam no so no ebetimi akose na afei yenyabre ama etiefo so no etimi abem ni nyina no eye proposal a FIFA ye kasa sisi so ediato member association anim se nka nyintum na so tituma sika eno so betimi apiem no timi ediama member association na so no etimi ediabo ho ebra me part of proposal ben na me ka ho asem proposal no eye FIFA forward enterprise aye twanitia eka no FFE for short eno eye proposal a me ka say FIFA enso etimi ediato table no so a say member association no so enhwe na endwendwene ho na proposal no ncheche mu nyina ne tenten ene ne tietie ena ne say FIFA se ne commercial no opese oton kakra minority stake at the outside investors na so no etimi di sika ne bewuram na sa sika na FIFA ebenya de afiri mu no omatimi ediama member association na according to the proposal FIFA say member association agituma FIFA sika omubenya no 4.2 billion dollars 4.2 billion dollars and then I say omugituma and then sika sa minority stake na FIFA eton commercials ediama no so ebetimi enya na achediama members no enso eno enti eno proposal make say eno eda bama so a hwe nim se mpadimfo so no ebetimi atoa so na adwene ho na wo the structural detail na say na esitio also commercial right no broadcast sponsorship and after ticketing and then FIFA so or pane ho kakra enye ni na 20% no nya sa 4.2 billion dollars no at the ama and association members no now say nyame adom na sa proposal we member association egitumwa according to the proposal FIFA say per association be for example over Ghana Football Association say kobani say egitumwa Ghana Football Association kwa which is the GF no kwa no ebenya $20 million and here the 2027-2030 say yakwa anima 2031 to 2034 ebe say increase akọ $22 million yesa kwa anima 2035 to 2038 and also sikana be say arise every 22 million akọ 24 million na chesa ade ne gitumwa sika put doso pro na member association so no so betimi enya na so no etimi ade abo ebra na sa proposal ebe to abontia na members ni bi asha say debi sa de FIFA ye no ade asembe bad ochina bi na emu bi UEFA na CONCACAF now ewom say UEFA ye kasa sisi ko emergency meeting na akọ dwendwene no ma hwe say ko for ana against na before meeting the baba so kra no madi nkan henti say wo mu raising tia person meji sa de atum no say first of football yenton football yenton the moment obema enipa bi omunye into football aba football agudie nim no say obema so nya influence ebedum maybe because no the sika ba waji the sika it will catch us okay FIFA ayi na nse kura mo world cup na mo boy 48 mo increase no because it cannot meet an adorso se na bia men so no that eyeball any mileage na men so metimi enya na menya memfa so no men so metimi enya eno na UEFA say omo pene ama the outside investors edom sika be dom of football ma these are some of the influencer sankofu ebenya na afei ebe aba high calendar no eni ade ama bibia no enso akwakosenti before omako emergency meeting no kra no these are some of the issues UEFA and me CONCACAF omonso asase a omo areas a ahonsam no eno no na before Josh mebom honam so no mode manu atum aso say titi ye de ho say Ghana for enti ye interest in the adwene ho sɛ Ghana Football Association panimfoɔ sɛ nyame yɛ adom na CAF nso yɛnso yɛhyia ne Europe de kɔ a yɛnkɔgye ntom adna ma yɛnkɔgye ntom no ɛno ɛne yɛn discussions anɔpɛ yi mepɛ sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛnso yɛnya ɛwɔ ɛyɛ dwumadie no ɛnso na before kora bɛbɛ mu no ma yɛntie ɛyɛ FIFA president yɛwura ɛyɛ Gianni Infantino ɛberɛ a ɔno nso no ɔkyerɛkyerɛ ɛyɛ the FIFA forward enterprise proposal a ɔmo nso ɛde aba ɛyɛ abɔnten no nso emu no.
FFE is actually a proposal, an offer. It's part of a democratic process, a consultation process, and above all, it is an opportunity, but not an obligation. And as I said, it kicks off the consultation process. If and only if it is approved by the majority of our 211 member associations and the FIFA Council, it would be a FIFA-owned and controlled subsidiary consolidating FIFA's commercial and event operations. It would simply commercialize and organize all FIFA-owned competitions, along with sponsorship, broadcast licensing, and new venture for the benefit of FIFA's 211 member associations.
Okay. Enti yɛwura Infantino no sɛ adeɛ no a ɔyɛ ne sɛ bi ɔnyɛ mfama no so ate ase ɔyɛ de ama de member association which is 211 no obiara bɛnya mfasoɔ sɛ deɛ mema mu breakdown no yɛn sɛ nyame yɛ adom na sɛ dwumadie no the majority no atitum sɛ saa proposal we yɛnyɛ mfantum na FIFA enter minority stake ɛmfama the outside investors a Ghana yɛnkoa no yɛbɛnya ɛyɛ $20 million ɛna ɛde every proposal FIFA so no ɛde aba Josh mame hyɛ asɛm fa firi hɔ from the Ghanaian perspective yɛnkwa ne sɛn yɛnkwa gyentum anaa sɛdeɛ UEFA no a consensus ado omu kwa meeting about o ma sha say football no nya koton de ma the outside world pe obenya influence afi na be high calendar no minim baby apeso odi sha say the fibia.
Yeah, Rich, I like the fact say ubisame about the various perspectives, especially the African perspective, you know, as well as the UEFA perspective, because share situation we ye pana you realize that everybody is speaking from a certain angle. Rich, I think after the just ended World Cup aye boy, you know. So ushe nyama ekoso in terms of how people patronized the World Cup. Even though say na ticket prices was 3 year panani boarding, but still we got the stadiums to be full. The very first World Cup expanded World Cup 3 nations are hosting. We saw how very successful it was. We saw so many things that were introduced. Oshe cooling break na Daniel say commercialization bisane ye advert near the film.
And then Krakala Ancelotti abechi was it I don't know affected Brazil national team no.
And so everybody has an angle to the argument. So what you say. But at the end of the day, your World Cup New Year no FIFA kotna say no, it looks like in terms of commercial viability, there is a lot more we can do moving forward with a World Cup. No? In terms of Sika Ibenye frame. Now, who should profit FIFA on one case declare when you're in this particular World Cup? Historic and humongous. It was 3 years. So, FIFA are coming from a certain angle, say, if we have been successful at hosting this World Cup, in this very first expanded format, you had to call 48 teams, 3 countries hosting now. Then we need to do more in terms of commercialization. Okay. It is to say, Gianni Infantino say he's bringing a proposal into Montenegro. One case or enforce to be our council. He said it is a proposal. Now, good. What is the proposal? Or say, or person or introduce the FIFA forward enterprise to handle the commercial aspect of FIFA activities. Internal about licensing, commercialization, ticketing, broadcasting as well. But this entity now on be creating. He wants to give 20% of this company to a private equity investment firm. Senebeya, private entity no, any sika ebeba be share FIFA Forward Enterprise. So the FIFA Forward Enterprise in the total valuation is about $20 billion. And it's a private equity investment company no ebeto 20% of that $20 billion there. It will result into a 4.2 billion investment into a FIFA Forward Enterprise. So this is the framework of FIFA Forward Enterprise now. Gianni Infantino person introduce you ewo eye FIFA omo nkomodiemu or omo organization ni mu.
Okay.
Now Rich, the thing is that why are UEFA pushing back? Let me share something for UEFA. UEFA for main concern through Alexander Sefrin or president is that once you begin to introduce private equity investment into the game, you have crossed a certain line.
Women and influence.
No, there will be a certain influence on the game where those who have invested their monies, no. Obeka say, me the mesika ko share company. Intino, near a wasa men sumiye mesika enko kem. Na menya profit bebre every mono. It's what I will introduce for it to be done in the game. The reason why this is a very different conversation from a Africa perspective, Nene say, one of the things I here as African to improve our game is Sikasisia. We need heavy investment into our game. Into Rich, say Gianni Infantino say, Ujitu mupe, there's an upfront money of 20 million.
That is 2027
to 2030 cycle. No, there's a pool of which every 211 member associations no obia binya $20 million there. Rich, you and I know that Ghana we need that money.
Yeah, yes,
he says for our development in football.
Imagine you have 20 million.
Pitches,
training
grounds, coach football. In some way, they will have most of the times that they be heading come say Ghana, your football is say yo, yes, can we would have gotten at least ×2 of what we already receive. Rich, another thing, and they say, Gianni Infantino say, once you accept this, moving forward, there's another program I offer, FIFA Fast Forward program, and also will give every member association another $20 million into the Kabuma. That is approaching $40 million. Every member association. So this is the proposal, but UEFA and so ejina baby fufro, and their disappointment is not even stemming from this particular situation alone. The understanding is that Gianni Infantino ni post channel or the govern FIFA at this point now, he is being run, or everyone is he's colluding with a couple of people to run FIFA the way he on one kasan panel. Because on Komodini Munano, when I see a speculated venture capitalist private equity venture capitalist omubeji 20% stake in FIFA Forward Enterprise no reportedly
is it a Donald Trump ba
Donald Trump bow Donald Trump ne son-in-law it's Donald Trump ne ba Ivanka ne ba Ivanka
okay
Bema or Warren no aye friend no Jared Kushner or he's one of the elders of that Thrive Capital. A company reportedly Omobabeji 20% stake in FIFA Forward Enterprise.
And as I say, Donald Trump in a relationship
with Gianni Infantino. The Alexander Sefrin Bufukran say during the World Cup, that red card following Balogun Enyaye USA any Bosnia and Herzegovina boy, you know. The way that red card was overturned. Na ayade bakwa Alexander Sefrin ne bufu pa. For which reason he raised concerns, and secondly he boycotted the final. So that beef is already there. That reservation is already there. That anger is already there. UEFA for they have made it very, very clear. It is as it stands now. No, it is to them UEFA. No, they see it as something that say omojitu mupe. It means the soul of the game is being sold. because then you allow people who may not necessarily be football enthusiasts or emotional football no, but because of Saudi the Sika company no, they will find a way to influence the game, and it will go against the way football must be run.
Especially with our football calendar, no? Because expansion near the Nibema date you hold my CSS Sanonia day and a basana am I in calendar and now affect
the influence will be there into investors because okay into calendar way if I say competitions may no air clash yes okay you way fear because a Canadian shame
sure.
So if you have commercialized the game, that is the problem.
Yes, Pandeno, you say
so those conversations will be there, and Obia Pese, the interest no will be met. So this is the problem. But Rich, another thing now, a man for before they don't want to accept this whole initiative and say there was a meeting before the FIFA World Cup final between Argentina and Spain. Gianni Infantino and the association presidents Omushiaye. There was no conversation of this whatsoever. Oman kan wasembia. Intika opesen ke yejitumudia. You would have started that conversation in that meeting. Oh, ebia yakotna si adwen ho.
There's a proposal.
There's a proposal to
me good.
In the interest of preserving the integrity of the game, in Kaukano, at least that would have sent a certain message to our member associations for say there's this interest, even though it has not been clearly written out. Gianni Infantino wamana clear. So because of how successful the World Cup has been, A, B, and I be say in the future. One can want them nothing at all. And after say all the South FIFA Forward Enterprise he has now given a deadline. Say all federations, all the 211 member associations no must accept before a certain date. After which, then it means that if it collapses, it collapses. If it doesn't, then they will move forward with the initiative, and what will benefit you will get your share. As it stands now, Rich, CAF and Kasai, into almost meeting to decide what they will do. UEFA said they bidder, but the thing is that Rich, now UEFA are saying that they have reservations about this. And if so be the case, there's a possibility say UEFA for boycott future World Cups. Can you imagine a World Cup without UEFA? It is not going to be possible, Rich.
Is it CONCACAF and AFC? Part of it.
So you look at FIFA, say sometimes no, there's no smoke without fire, Rich. And when there are reservations like this, sometimes you want to argue it from both sides. Meaning, Africa would want to get some of these investments. Because look at the development of the sports on the continent, Rich. It is nothing to write home about. And yet, says Ghana, a country like Ghana, if we decide to utilize that money very well, there will be good development. But look at the other side, Rich. Saudi Arabia will host the World Cup in 2030. There was no competitive bidding process for that. Why is Saudi Arabia hosting? Look at how, even in the time past, in Sema you're raising about FIFA and how they were running their sport. Ekoba says Blatamuni now resigning, and there was a turnover in FIFA where we thought that moving forward there will be a transparent process to maintain the integrity of the game. But fast forward, Akoya said Gianni Infantino, he wants to try and then push it down the necks with the introduction of money as an incentive. Ebanesa, Debiano say discussion when it means whatever FIFA says, then you have to do it because they have presented money to you. But that cannot be the direction. Until if you ask me, Rich, it is difficult to decide. But Nyetieni say, I would have really expected Gianni Infantino to go and sit down with Alexander Seferin, because even though you have some of the biggest blocks in your favor in CAF, no, you are sure that definitely because of the support for sports on the continent, they will always support you. Now, Gianni Infantino Bayern, one of the biggest blocks that have benefited from his administration, CAF, and that support is always there. But if you don't get the support of UEFA knows some 40 billion, but you need to be able to sit down with him and convince them. What is the process to start that FIFA Forward enterprise? And your Montana say they are the most influential of the whole blocks. The member associations, no. UEFA have the most influence. So sit down with them, meet with them, have a certain understanding with them. Then when you get that sorted out, you don't have a problem with
so Argentina say UEFA so feel so part of the I didn't say a proposal. It is also feel say maybe or clearly you don't understand certain things. And only FIFA so continue say. Then maybe after the explanation of the man no. Most you okay with whatever most and sana later on whatever a concerns be about to reason. Most to me reason.
UEFA their concerns are that FIFA Forward enterprise na there has been a build up of integrity issues in FIFA.
Okay.
As I say no, baby akodu no, yard in same. And you know what they will do is that they will state vehemently say we will not agree with what you are doing, Gianni Infantino, because akwa say Jawa, they be an dia penu and awoye, and it doesn't look like any form of consensus building.
Okay.
And as a yentrance yending komo is going to work, because look at following Balogun. I've given that as example.
And the FIFA say a independent body,
but it was an independent
that
body.
That decision.
Very well. But the thing is that if a call could be placed to you to also get that thing to be done, and the next say next time no, there could be something else that could go against another member association, and you will find yourself complicit.
So, Josh, in a nutshell, are you for or against?
Rich, to protect the integrity of football, to make sure that the game doesn't become a commercialized entity. I think this is not the direction to go.
Okay.
Sasikano, Eba, you benefit from it, it is good.
But I heard the consequences, no?
You cannot throw money at every problem and expect that it will be solved.
Okay.
And yes, it can solve a problem here.
Joshua Holitu, and now Martin and our FIFA Forward enterprise proposal, FIFA, so no, at the Abba.